After his career found huge success with the skyrocketing popularity of Star Trek The Next Generation, Patrick Stewart found himself in the crosslines of Fox, and they wanted him for the role of Professor X. Unfortunately for them, this took a bit more convincing than they figured because Stewart had never heard of the X-Men or Professor X. X-Men the Animated Series started up just a few years after Star Trek The Next Generation, which debuted Patrick Stewart as Jean-Luc Picard, captain of the Enterprise D. So when his career absolutely took off after that, despite some of the other things we heard about, what they thought about Star Trek, how they figured this would be like a death note to his career and all that, obviously that wasn't the case because Star Trek had evolved and turned into something a lot more popular now. He reveals that in the year 1997, he was first approached to play Professor X. He reveals he was approached by Laura Donner, and they desperately wanted him for the role. But he said he sat down, he started having conversations, and they were like, oh yeah, it's Charles Xavier from the X-Men. And he sat there and he literally had no idea. And he reveals it's just because it's something that never crossed his radar. It never came across his table, anything like that. Like, it's not something that he was aware of even existing. Now, this isn't really that shocking. Prior to, well, the 90s boom of the X-Men were popular in terms of Marvel, but that's in terms of Marvel. And they weren't on the line of something like Captain America or even Doctor Strange yet. Like, their popularity really rose with X-Men the Animated Series. But again, it was towards kids and hardcore comic book readers. It didn't become the franchise it's known as today up until the combo of the films and the X-Men Animated Series getting replays and then the new X-Men series. So it kind of saw the same rise of success as Star Trek, ironically. And he reveals that after a couple pitches and what they told him, he was like, yeah, I want to do this. And then he met with everybody involved, and he realized there was no real big similarities between Jean-Luc Picard and Charles. And that really incentivized him to join the project, because he first thought it was a typecast, but then once he looked into it, he realized, no, this is completely opposite and something that would fit my portfolio. And then the rest is history for both.